How did we bale this? Dad said it was probably when I was baling. Come on, boys, let's go. Hey, welcome back to Ohrmundt Simmentals. This is Chris. All right, Monday afternoon. Warmer, but definitely slipperier. I think we got like a good 1/4 inch of ice last night, but at least on the roads it has kind of gone away, mostly because the temps are actually halfway decent, upper 20s. A little sketchy going to work this morning, but it wasn't horrible. All right, Bubba, go on. All right, so this week, I know we got to dodge some rain and ice showers and snow showers and stuff, but Wednesday morning we got 2 steers we got to haul in. They are in the barn, so we'll be definitely checking up on them in a little bit. We'll also be pulling the trailer out of the shop. No, it's not done. I get that, but you've seen probably in the last video that it is at least worthy. It is roadworthy. It's enclosed, it's roadworthy, but we're not going to let the steers go to the front anyways, so they're not going to get anywhere near the area that we worked on. So it's not going to get full of dirt and mud and poop and all that stuff. So that in itself is kind of nice. So we'll bring it back after Wednesday, and probably like Saturday morning we'll throw it back in the shop and clean it back up, start doing some grinding. Ordered some new wire wheels, things like that. Just kind of watching my dog. Can't spend too much time away from him because he'll end up in the middle of that field and who knows what he'll get into. But I also had to kind of scrape around in this area too, because Dad had mentioned, and I think I got to do a little bit more right here. Oh, yep. Is because of that little ice we got overnight. He said it's a little slick filling buckets in the morning. So I wanted to scrape, get the surface scratched up so he doesn't have any issues walking. Well, and me too. But and just go check out these boys quick. The other thing that Dad and I were just discussing before I came in here is when we haul our animals in, we give them phone numbers of who is the customer. Then Custom Meats calls them. They discuss cutting instructions on how you want to cut, like thickness of steaks, what type of steaks. Like personally for us, we don't do round steak anymore. We put it all in the burger. And Dad said even for this next animal, because half of it actually comes back for us, for me and Bethany and Mom and Dad. And then he said what they're actually going to do is he's going to take, I think he said 50 pounds of burger, he's going to do into patties. They charge you a little bit. It's like $1 a pound or something like that. But I'm going to have them made into actual 3rd pound patties. So that's just one less thing you have to do, which is kind of nice. But we also discuss who is getting what animal. And sometimes it's easier to tailor, like if you know, sometimes people are hemming and hawing, do I get a half, do I get a whole? And they know they want a lot, but sometimes they're not sure, so we kind of play the size game. And now that we only have 5 animals in there, there's a lot more space for them too. It's that time of year where those fats are starting to go out, and they're gonna go out in a hurry, because our next group was at the end of January, and then we got one at the end of February, and I think one in March. Process dates, that is. We also did step these guys up on grain too. They were definitely due for it. This is probably actually a little heavy on the corn silage. All right, coming out to check on the mineral feeder. I know I just put some stuff in here the other day, so we're good on Redmond. I do have to get another bag of the selenium so we can keep that going. And looks like we need some more NutriBeef. I mean, they still got a little bit left in here down on the bottom. So, not a huge deal. They still got some. That's alright. So, the mystery of today is this. I just pulled this out of the feeder. How did we bail this? I mean, that's like 3.5 feet long. And probably like 1.5 inches diameter. It's not small. Dad said it was probably when I was bailing. Whatever. But keep an eye on everybody out here. Everybody's in good shape. And watching the one that had that last abort that we found. And she definitely was a younger one. So keeping an eye on that. But everybody else looking really good. Good shape, good condition. But one bale night tonight, they still had some hay left over from last night, like noticeable. And I think we're gonna throw a little bedding in here. Maybe. I'd like to. 2 bales of stalks, and of course, we don't want to eat the hay. We're gonna nibble through and find all the husks and leaves and everything out of the stalks, and we'll eat that. They love that stuff, especially husks. Well, it is a sloppy Tuesday afternoon. So it's basically rained all day long today. Rain, freezing rain, all that good stuff. I had to chip a trench away in front of the barn door because the water started running in the barn. Because right about this is the high point, other than maybe like that little spot in the yard. But we get a lot of water that comes down here. If you don't keep, when it's cold out, that concrete pad in front of the door, not a big deal. When it starts to melt, you got to get it cleaned off. Otherwise the water starts running in the barn. So you can get a 1/2 inch of snow, you can get 2 feet of snow, and the calves will have that packed tight within an hour. It happens all the time. And in the mail today, we got our Select Sires Beef Catalog Spring Edition 2026. That's always nice. I mean, yeah, you can jump on the sites all the time, whenever you want, but sometimes it's just nice to break out a catalog. Unfortunately, this is an 8-foot door, so it gets a little iffy there. That's the nice thing about having that bucking plate, is we can play with the front end so that we're not rubbing up here. It'd be really nice to have a 10-foot door, but you know, it is what it is. There we go. It is out. Good! Left light works, right light works. Still needs to be finished, but road worthy. I think the repair went pretty decent. And then if we still want to do some other stuff, we sure can. And the shop is ready to put her back in. Hey, good morning. All right, it is Wednesday morning, and it is slippery out here. I did try and clean up some stuff around here, but it kept melting, and it's just below freezing. And Dad is coming with the trailer. So I'm gonna start getting some of the rest of the lights on. Yeah, I had to turn that set of lights off every time Dad's trying to back up. It's that light's literally like 2 feet from his face and he can't see nothing. Come on, boys, let's go. Let's go, boys. Up, 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 up. All right, they were a little stubborn, so, but they went on. So yeah, they're on. They get the back half. So these guys did a really good job for us. They grew it well, they finished well, and I think whoever ends up with the meat, I mean, we kind of know where they're going, who's getting them and stuff, but I think they're really gonna like what they get. So it's always a little bit of a bummer to see them go because they're really good animals, good temperament. They haven't been a pain. Honestly, this is the most pain that they've caused us in a year and a half. So, but the conditions aren't the greatest. It's a little icy, a little slushy. Getting onto this trailer, the way you got to back in, isn't the greatest either. So, and Dad was able to get out, which is good because that is pretty icy up there. He said his driveway was pretty darn icy too. So he's got to go home and throw some salt down. All right, I will button this up. I got to shut some gates, get back in the house, clean up just a little bit, change, and get my butt to work. So we'll catch you guys later. All right, Wednesday afternoon, and it is slick out here. It was slick this morning too, but the dog's out here. The dog's out here too. He's slipping and sliding. But Dad's gonna back up. We're gonna clean this out quick. At least get it swept out and stuff like that, and then go park it in front of the shop. All right, so back in the barn, kind of closing things back up, getting these gates all set the way we want them. Because in 2 weeks, we're hauling 2 more in. And Dad was able to get our dates set up, the rest of our dates set up for next year. So kind of along the same lines, but I think we're actually done in February next year. Instead of having, this year we have 1 in March. But as you can see, you got a little from yesterday and today, got a little more water in here. This is really only about a 1/4 inch deep. It just looks like there's more water than anything else. But to get from where I am, it's about 1.5 feet up to get up to this pad. Dad's gonna scrape that away as best he can. And honestly, this water isn't gonna do anything. It's not gonna harm nothing. So even with that big bucket and putting weight down on it to cut it, I mean, you gotta go over it a couple of times to get everything down to the concrete. All right, so Dad got most of this scraped up. I mean, we're down to pad here and here, which this part is the most important, getting it right in front of the door. And he got most of it up in there too. We're still supposed to have a couple of warm days, so this will all clear up. We're still supposed to have a couple of warm days, so that's all gonna clear up on that pad by the time we get to like some actual cold temps again. So we are getting a scrape through here on this main line, give the water somewhere to go, and also keep the scrape down decent, especially where we drive through. That way the cows aren't looking at like an 18-inch tall top line. So corn silage, and we'll get moving and feeding. So one thing that is kind of nice for us is Dad even just pointed out that number 53, the one we call Socks, he's like, oh, that's probably going to be our November steer because he's growing really well. But that's why I've always said we don't mind having a wide variety of sizes. I mean, yeah, we want them to be fairly uniform, but if we have a couple that are a little bigger and a couple a little smaller, but the majority of them are, you know, kind of uniform, we're okay with that because that helps us spread out our butcher dates and getting beef to customers. So for us, it's okay. It works. One bale for these guys divvied up, and definitely starting to go through and mingle amongst the crowd and check everybody out. Really only looking at Barb right now. She is starting to bag a little bit, and she would be due in about 3 weeks. And that's the other reason we love having our vet come and do the ultrasound preg check, where she can give us kind of an idea of when they're going to calve, or at least when they were bred. I'll figure out when they're going to calve. So that is definitely a nice thing. Is she 100% accurate? No, but she's really darn close. Like, she's, in the years that we've had her do it, I think it's what, 3 years now at least, she's only been off on like 2 or 3, and that's it. All right, here we go. Thursday afternoon. Happy Friday Eve, by the way. I told Dad we're definitely betting the bulls, because they went from good to horrendous in about 36 hours. Checking like that first AI group, especially the heifers, just to see if there's anything starting to happen. That first AI group is not due for 5 weeks yet. So I think they're due like around the 15th of February. But Barb is due 2 weeks earlier. But she is starting to bag, so she is looking like she's on schedule. So she's about 3 weeks away. So that's pretty exciting. I cannot wait to see our first Fairview Kingpin. That'll be awesome, because he's a really nice bull. He's throwing really nice calves. It's gonna be cool to see what it looks like. All right, so everybody's basically getting bedded today. Fresh straw bale for the steers, and they are waiting. Well, I'm gonna be honest, that could have gone really bad for you guys. I did not think they were gonna bump that. And that post is actually, it's 2 treated 4x4s, and I bolted them together. I mean, I think they got 3/8 bolts, put them together. When I sunk that in the ground, it's concreted. I didn't think they were gonna come in that quick and compact and bump it and knock you over. Front of the truck retrieval system. Everybody's handy dandy garden rake. I think that's enough for one night. We'll catch you guys tomorrow. Hey, how's it going? Happy Friday. Kind of just assessing our situation. We got like an inch, maybe a little over an inch of rain all of last night. I think it stopped sometime this morning. The yard is icy. So Dad will remain on the tractor. Corn silage just enough for the steers. Calves still have plenty, and with the warmer temps they're able to get down to some of that old stuff that got froze. So it was kind of funny this morning. So Dad and I will obviously chat back and forth. We'll send each other links to stuff that we find, and he sends me this like info spread, and I'm reading it, and I responded back, we've used this already. So this year, you know, I've mentioned that I got to start ordering my stuff for calving season, because we're gonna have our first calf in like 3 weeks, and I was gonna order Start Strong. I still might get at least 1 bottle, but Dad wants to, he sent me an info thing on optimizer gel, that if you watch Sonne Farms, you know that those guys swear by it. They've been using it for a number of years now, and we used it too for, I think it was 1 or 2 years, and had really good results with it. Not an issue. We just started using Start Strong because we thought it's a little bit more liquid based, so we wanted to try that. So we've been using that the last couple of years. But Dad said, since those guys over there really promote that, they really like it, I mean, they sell it on their site, we're going to try it again. So we're going to try optimizer gel, which means I need to get on there and order it. I'm going to order it right off of Sonne Farms website, because the price is decent, And like price per dose is, I think price per dose for the optimizer gel is actually like, I think 25 or 50 cents cheaper. So yeah, I'll probably order that optimizer gel tonight or tomorrow. So we should have it by the end of next week. Plenty of time. Got to look at getting my cameras going. I believe I have enough tags, but I probably should order some more because I just want to have the Ohrmundt Simmentals on the bottom, and that's about as fancy as I get. Yeah, so that's all I got for the rest of today. All the calves are fed. Calves bedding pretty good. Bulls, they're okay. They're probably going to get bed again tomorrow. It is the end of the day. It is Friday. Happy Friday, guys. I hope you guys had a great day. Hope you had a good week. If it was like me, if it was your first week back to work, I hope it was tolerable. It was for us. A lot of guys saying, man, this full work week stuff, it really sucks, which it wasn't great. But hope you guys had a great week. Hope you have a great weekend coming up. As always, on your way out, smash that like button, help support the channel. If you got any questions, please leave them in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe. We got our new goal of 4,000 subs by the end of the year. I think we can do it with your help. Hit that subscribe button, follow along for more. And as always, thanks for coming along.